Hello, hello. What's up? It's Jessica Matlin.
That was so college DJ of you. Hey, everyone, it's Jen Sullivan. It's Fat Mascara.
I'm in the corner booth. I'm picturing like a little corner DJ.
With crates and crates and crates of vinyl.
Oh my God. That's really funny. College DJ.
Welcome to our beauty podcast, everyone. We're goofy today.
Would you go back to college for like a month if you could?
What would I be doing? Taking classes, binge drinking, having poor choices in my sexual relations? Which part of college?
All of it.
I would definitely sit back in a lecture room and listen to some. I can think of the professors I would want to go sit back in class with.
What do you remember 100%. Any of their names?
Childers. Thomas Childers? I forget Professor Childers. He was a history professor. It was like going to a movie every time you went to one of his lecture classes.
I loved lecture class. Like
there would be people standing in the back to just like hear him talk because he was just such a good storyteller. It didn't feel like you were learning history. You just felt like you were sitting through a really fun, like a guy after dinner. Those classes were amazing. And he was in the biggest lecture hall and it was still packed.
I want to go to Thomas Childers' lecture.
This poor man, I'm probably saying his name. He wrote a book about, it was World War II was his specialty. And I don't even care about that area. I mean, of course I care about that part of history. What am I saying?
Jen.
No, but you know what I mean? I like the natural sciences. I like the arts. History was not my thing, but this guy made it my thing. Anyway, why are we talking about Professor Childers?
We're talking about college.
We are. And storytellers.
Okay.
Storytellers. What I did there?
All right. That's the theme. That's
Jess's cue.
Okay, because listen, I was talking to Jen about this. I was like, you know what? Save it for the pod. Save it for the pod. So this past week, I really like doing this, okay? This is something I really, really like doing at my job, is once in a while I get the opportunity to bring some of the brands who are at Moda, part of the curation, bring in some of the founders, some of the trainers who, we want to talk about a storyteller. The brand trainers are like truly, if they're not the founder themselves, the trainers are
I remember from when I worked at Sephora.
Yeah.
Like I would attend all of them. They're so good at what they do.
They're professional storytellers. So
don't take our job.
So they'd be great subs.
I was literally just thinking I should have some of them on.
Completely. I've got a great one. I'll tell you about him after. So we had the opportunity to bring in a handful of the brands at a time and bring them into our office in Brooklyn, in Industry City, and introduce some of these brands firsthand to our private client advisors. And if you want to know who those are, not to get too into the weeds at the structure at Moda, but we have private client advisors.
What's a PCA? Tell us,
A
Jess.
PCA, Jen. I love the lingo. Yes, exactly. Jen's learning like the shorthand at Moda. So we have, obviously, if you go on moda.com, any person can go on to Moda and decide if they'd like to buy something. So you don't need to be a private client. But private clients, like with a lot of businesses out there, luxury businesses, are the people who spend a lot of money per year. And then if you spend enough, you're a private client, and then you get assigned a private client advisor. So they have clients who really spend quite a bit, and they get all kinds of perks and advantages, and they create special looks for them. They will go to the moon and back to get them whatever kind of item they need. It's really an amazing part of the business I didn't know about until I started working there. It is fascinating. Since they're so special, they're almost like celebrities unto themselves at Moda, these super sellers. We want them to know everything about the line.
Turn them into mini Jess Matlins.
Mini Jess Matlins, mini super beauty experts, and get them obsessed
Obviously,
with the
they all
brands.
listen to Fat Mascara as well, so they have their beauty knowledge.
Some of them do. It's very exciting.
Okay.
So we created this special day, and we invited some of the brands there. And I have to say, while all of the brands did an amazing job, some of the fragrance sessions really kind of made me think about this word that you're using before, storytelling, that like makes me giggle, because I probably say storytelling 14 times a day, and I'm starting to like kind of pinch my leg every time I do it. It's just starting to lose meaning. It's such a cliche. It's almost like
this brand tells a story.
It's just like storytelling. I feel like people aren't believing me anymore. Like, well, what do you mean storytelling? The other day we meant it. We brought in the brands, and these people took us like on a journey of going on like a safari or...
Wait, example, please.
Okay, well, we had DS and Durga come. Now, unfortunately,
Okay.
David didn't come himself. I've never actually met David, which is
Are
insanity.
you serious?
Yeah, that's what the brand said.
Oh,
Because David didn't come, but his team came. And
that's right. He was my co-host one time when you
yes,
were out of the office. He played co-host for me here on Fat Mascara, and then we became buddies.
yes. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I listened to the episode and I was like, I want to know more. That was such a good episode. But David calls fragrance like armchair travel. And they were painting these stories of like traveling to the Yucatan and traveling to like Marfa. And there's a little bit of like dust and the way they were describing it, there were all these beautiful videos. Okay, David wasn't there, so maybe that's not like the best one that I'm using. But okay.
This is so fun. I can't wait. Okay, tell me more because then I
Okay.
think I had a very similar experience this week.
Maisonetto, okay, Brianna, the creator, she said people thought I was insane when I wanted to create a brand about horses. And she's showing videos of her.
What's Maisonetto? It's a fragrance?
It's a beautiful fragrance brand, yeah. And she's showing photos with her horses in Florida, her with her horses in France. She doesn't own all these horses. She just like loves horses. And she's like, they thought I was bonkers when I was talking about creating a brand all about horses, like the smell of hay, the smell of the dirt they kick up in divots, and the smell of the mist on a horse and sweaty ponies. And I was like, people were kind of looking at her like, yeah, what's going on? Once they smelled all of these beautiful fragrances, they were flipping out. By the way, she told us the story of an A-list celebrity. I cannot say it's an Oscar-winning celebrity who loved the smell of a really grassy scent that she brought. He smashed it on the floor so it would like smell up his like whole space. I mean,
you need to tell us which perfume from the brand is this that has this grassy scent.
It's like called, I don't want to pronounce this.
Wait,
the name.
While you're looking it up, can I share something that is weirdly coincidental? I met with Carlos Hubert this week, who you have mentioned on the podcast because he did some of the fragrances for the Vacation line of sunscreens.
Oh,
but he
yeah,
also has his own perfume label, Arquiste, which is amazing. So he sat me down and we went through the scents together, and he's an architect, and and it goes into history. Oh, it's all tying together. I love it.
Of course.
Each fragrance is a moment in a time and moment in space, like you're talking about. Talk about horses. This dude's got a Spanish galleon that one of his fragrances is the scent of the storage area of a Spanish galleon in the 1600s that was traveling around the world, getting the coffee from here, getting the spices from here, the leather from here, so that you feel the experience of you're in this trade ship on the seas, like having this deep, dark, exotic spice moment. I mean, every single perfume had that kind of story behind it. And the whole time he was doing it, I kept thinking to myself, tell me if this is a bad idea. I've never wanted a birthday. Remember we were talking about people who are all about their birthday? I've never wanted a birthday party. But I literally had this moment where I was like, I want to invite all my friends over for a fragrance smelling like this. Like instead of a wine tasting, I want someone like this who can freaking craft a story. Everything had like weird historical context. Like he was telling me about, the pashminas used to be wrapped in patchouli leaves to keep the moths away. So that's how the scent of patchouli first came to Europe from where the wool was made. And everybody associated it with these gorgeous luxury pashminas. But then pashminas went out of fashion. They gave them to the prostitutes and the sex workers. And then patchouli got its like counterculture vibe because all of the sex workers were wearing the wool pashminas and they all started smelling like patchouli. So the high fashion ladies didn't want to smell like patchouli anymore. And that's why like in the 70s, it was like a very bohemian kind of scent.
I love this.
Right? This was just one of
now
5,000
it's all coming together.
Yeah, storytelling with fragrance. I was like, I could click online and buy that just from you telling me about it. Like, I don't even need to smell it. And I'm like, yes, I want to smell like a Marseille prostitute in the year whatever. And Arquiste has one of those too, and it has the waxy smell of their makeup. Yes, with patchouli. I'll put the link so you can smell them. They were freaking divine, as I imagine.
Awesome.
What is the name of the grassy one?
Okay, I looked up. It's good. Macanudo. I didn't know I was going to say Morocco or say Macanudo. And okay, I was going to say the notes, but then I've got one final, no pun intended, note. And smells like fresh grass, bergamot, hay, wet earth.
I love wet earth smell. I just was talking about that this week.
It's so good. Yeah, I can see why that celebrity was smashing it.
You did use some gendered pronouns. So it's a he, first of all. Somebody with a lot of money. I heard it. It's somebody with a lot of money to spare, and it's a guy that won an Oscar, and he loves his house smelling like bergamot and wet earth, and so much that he smashed a perfume.
Brianna, can you just make a room spray? Just make a room spray.
Oh, she should.
Yeah.
And the name of her line again, can you say it again? Because I heard it as Maisonetto, and that feels wrong.
Maison, it's Maison. It has a D, Eto, E-T-T-O.
Maison.
I don't speak French.
Like house of the...
It means house netto, but it really means to each their...
You should see her face. Like when you were giving the answer in class and you're like, maybe if I just mumble it, they'll think I said the right thing.
It means to each their own, according to Brianna. Please, my French friends, please don't come after me. But that means to each their own. And I love that sentiment. And it's such a beautiful line. And I'm just so happy that I'm just so happy it's here.
Okay, I should have pointed out too, I didn't say the name of the scent that I painted the picture for. Should I?
Wait, what was it?
As well? That was the Arquiste Nanban was the scent that I was talking about.
Nanban.
Intoxicating, woody, Malabar black pepper, Persian saffron, the galleon, the ship.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. 2 very different scents, by the way. We can go dark and mysterious. We can go fresh in the winds on our horse, on our farm that we wish we owned out in the countryside of France. All this is to say, storytelling, it is a part of perfume. We live it. I have some stories to tell too in the news section. Should we do our podcast? I could talk all day about perfume some more, but I'm sure other people. Oh, wait till we get the news. There's a little bit more perfume. You ready?
I'm ready for it.
Did you hear there's a new perfume coming out in November?
Ooh, I did.
It's just Beyonce's NBD.
How do you think it's going to do?
I don't know. Maybe, these celebrities, they have too many lines these days. Are we kidding? Are you kidding me? Of course, Beyonce's fragrance is going to be big. But I was like, all right, what else can I find that nobody is reporting on? Because right now we've got this bottle silhouette. She drops it on her website. We know it's coming in November. She puts a few notes on there. I have 2 things I want to discuss with you. First off, I literally went down a deep, dark hole trying to figure out who the manufacturer, because I knew it was in France. And she had all the notes up there, jasmine, rose, honey, okay, fine. Namibian myrrh. And I was like, this is interesting. First of all, it's the only note she gave sourcing on. I'm guessing because it ties to her African heritage. But Namibian myrrh, I actually know about. It's super special. Mandy Aftel did a fragrance with Namibian myrrh because it does not smell like myrrh. This is for the fragrance geeks out there. It actually smells like frankincense because it's a different plant. And so there's this, I'm sorry I'm going off on this. This is not what Beyonce is going to sell her perfume on, obviously. But for our listeners who are intrigued by this kind of thing, in Namibia, the Himba women, they use this extract with butterfat to make a perfumed body cream. Isn't that fabulous? They've been doing it for hundreds of years. And it's also different from normal myrrh. I don't know if you guys know what myrrh is, but it's a resin of a tree. So normally they cut the tree bleeds, quote unquote, and that's what's used and collected for the fragrances. But with this type of myrrh, they don't actually harm the trees. It's naturally collected, whatever oozes out. So it's super sustainable in that way, but it also smells a little bit different. So I'm not saying her perfume is going to be like the myrrh perfume or the frankincense perfume, but I just thought that was cool. And also, just wanted to remind everybody, this is not Beyonce's first perfume. Guys, this is not her first rodeo. Please see, 2009, Jess, this is your quiz. Can you remember the name of Beyonce's fragrance with Cody? She's going to tell me that she can picture the bottle.
Was it round?
Yes-ish.
Was it kind of like this shape?
It had a longer neck, and it was red, and it was called, the first one, Heat. Beyonce
I was
Heat.
about to say Desire.
Yeah, well, yes, it was. And remember, guys, that was the heyday of, we all go on now about celebrity skincare lines. That was the heyday of celebrity perfumes. And then she went on to have 4 more after that. And the first time and only time I met Beyonce was at a perfume event for another perfume for Tommy Hilfiger. Jess, this is going to be maybe even before your time. Can you name the Tommy Hilfiger perfume that Beyonce was the face of circa 2004?
Oh, Star. Something
Oh
Star.
my God, she's amazing. True Star.
Before my time. Yeah, True Star. I remember
I didn't know.
that.
I thought it might
But
be.
remember, she was with Armani. She was
And
with
Armani Diamonds. I was going to name that too.
Yeah.
I think that was just she did some campaigns with them. Like it wasn't as collaborative as True Star, and then her own.
Yeah, it was like it was a campaign because I remember I went to go see her when she was.
You went to the concert and met her backstage. Wait,
I don't think I met her.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, were we at the same event? Like
it was at MSG.
Yeah, but you went with
Armani.
Oh, you went with Armani. I went with Tommy Hilfiger, so you probably went later than I did. Yes. Okay. Anyway, I still am convinced Jess and I, you guys know we didn't meet until 2016, I want to say.
2013. What are you, 2016? Fat Mascara had launched.
We didn't meet in 2013.
Yes,
we
we
met
did.
10 years ago? I've not known you 10 years.
Yes, Jen. Oh my God, this is
No, I wasn't even at Mary Claire in 2013. You're wrong. And I was definitely Mary Claire when I met you.
Yes, you were. Oh my God, we're going to have to offline about this.
We're going to offline. Anyway, Jess and I were in the industry probably 10 years without ever having met, which everybody thought was weird because they knew we would be best friends. Of course, we did not know that at the time.
I'm literally getting a photo right now.
All right, you look up that photo. I like to think about some of those times and be like, did we cross paths like a bunch of times? Did we even talk to each other and not even register that we had met? Anyway, Beyonce's coming out with a perfume. In conclusion, Beyonce has a new perfume coming out in November. Moving on while Jess continues to do the research on the...
Here's a picture of Jen in 2013 and me.
It was 2013. How is that possible?
Here's me in Ghana. June
2013?
Oh my God, I know Jen's schedule better than she knows.
That's crazy. I thought I started working at Mary Claire in 2014. All right, well.
Here's Jen.
That definitely is me. You know what's funny about the photo you're showing me? Jess, I was recently, you know how in the iPhone you can look up things by their, like, just use keywords now and it searches your photos. So I was trying to find a recipe. So I put in cooking and the first photo that comes up is literally Jessica Matlin with a stick stirring a pot of shea butter. Like you look like a witch, like it's a cauldron and you have a big stick. And that's what my iPhone gave me for cooking. And I was like, Jess would die laughing. I almost screenshot it to show you, but then I was like, nobody cares. I'll wait until we have thousands and thousands of people listening on my podcast.
God.
And then I'll tell you the story. All right, moving on.
All right.
Tanning beds are back. What? Dazed Digital just did a story on the rise, and this is specific, I think, to Britain, but is starting to trickle elsewhere, an uptick in the use of tanning beds or sunbeds, as they're called in the UK, especially among younger people. Jess, can you guess why there's been an uptick in sunny bees or sunbeds?
Sunny bee.
What do we blame for the fault of everything in the world? Not
TikTok.
Yes, it's not AI, it's TikTok. If it's not AI, it's TikTok. A 20-year-old named Rhiannon, whose video, Come to a Sunbed with Me, has almost 1 million views, 947,000 views.
Come to a sunbed
Yeah,
with
like she
me.
just takes you through the process, which I'm now thinking is probably novel to some younger people who, they went out of fashion as we learned how damaging they can be for skin.
Wait, did this person say it was a healthy sunbed? This one was better for you?
It's one of those videos where if you just take that at face value, you get none of the nuance of the conversation, which is, of course, that they raise your risk for melanoma, like exponentially. But anyway, this is the quote she gave to Dazed Beauty. I was dying. It's that whole clean girl thing. Everybody wants to be tanned so they don't have to wear much makeup and it just makes their skin look better. Let's dig into this. First of all, clean girl, just problematic. Anyway.
Yeah.
Makes your skin look better. You're going to be looking old and haggard if you keep going to the sunbed.
Also, I just saw Dr. Orit Markowitz, who we definitely need to have back on. Like, remember how we talked about having another laser show?
Yes. And I also recently linked to her skin cancer episode that she did with us, talking about the future of how we look for skin cancer. So you saw her for your sun check, you told people.
Yeah, I saw her for like a full body skin check. I said to her, and I felt like a little funny asking this, but I was like, just like riddle me this. I was like, I don't see anything on my skin. And I said, I'm having a little trouble convincing some people that they need a skin check because they're like, they don't see anything. They don't have freckles. They're like, I can look at my body. Is it like finding a tick? Do they really need to go?
Hello, Guinness World Records of smallest skin cancer.
Exactly. She's like, the number one, I want to make sure I get my stats right, but basically the number one, I think it's the number one, but a top killer of people in their 20s right now is it's not like car accidents. It's not drinking and well, I guess that's
All right,
car
we don't have to list all the horrible ways to die in your 20s.
Sorry. But my point, thank you, Jen. You know I can like go for it. It's skin cancer. And it's not some horrible lesion. It's the size of a pencil tip.
Yeah, it's tiny things you might not notice without the help of a trained physician.
Yeah, and she's not looking with her own eyeballs. She has like a special scope.
Yeah. Well, you're making her job much more necessary if you go to a tanning bed, because just one visit to a tanning bed, and this is from research that I was writing about back in, I want to say 2012, is one visit ups your melanoma risk potentially as much as 20%. And then I just looked up some new research. Every time you go in a sunbed session, you increase your melanoma risk 1.8% more, which is tiny.
Why are these legal? Like, why are these even
they're not
manufactured?
I mean, why are cigarettes legal? Like there are age limits in most countries now, but just like, I don't think people equate them quite as unhealthily with cigarettes, because I don't know why. Because we're not doing our job. So anyway, tell everybody in your life, please don't go to the sunbed. Stay tuned for our razor wands, because we've got lots of self-tanners for you instead of going to the sunbed. Okay, the face filters. We all have them on our phones. They're there in TikTok. They're there in Instagram. They are coming for your office meeting. That's right, Microsoft Teams. Who out there uses Microsoft Teams? I've had to use it when I work with some companies that's like their only way of communicating. Jess is rolling her eyes. If anybody's ever worked on Microsoft Teams, you know, like all its little quirks and like, why can't we just use Zoom and Slack or whatever? But anyway, Microsoft Teams partnered with Maybelline to launch this Maybelline Beauty app that allows Teams users to select from 12 virtual makeup filters that are applied to their face with augmented reality. I have thoughts, because this is what weirded me out about the whole thing. The app was created in collaboration with the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media, right? So that organization is an advocacy organization that aims to improve gender representation for girls and women in the media. But part of their work is making a beauty app that blurs your features, smooths the lines, and puts makeup on you?
Wait, Gina Davis had anything to do with this? I feel like
Yes.
Gina Davis is making like massive strides in women in media.
Well, that's why I feel like the top people at the Institute on Gender and Media might not know that somebody there collaborated on this. Here was the reasoning they gave.
Gina had nothing to do with this.
They wanted to ensure the app reflected representation of a broad and diverse population. Sure, nobody wants an app to work only on a certain type of person, a certain gender, a certain ethnicity. You want it to be universal. But if that app is for smoothing away the characteristics of your face and applying color cosmetics to it in augmented reality, are we really doing a service to women and girls in the media? That's my question. Anyway, so I just think it's funny. We know that the makeup companies have branded stuff in video games. They have branded stuff, obviously, on all the social media we use. Well, your work space is not immune. It's coming, and it's here already.
I feel like work should be a safe space.
You know what's a really safe space? Little corner in my mind called Science Corner. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Okay, we're here in Science Corner. Jess is so sick of me.
I'm not sick of you. I'm not sick of you. I think my brain is overloaded with like information right now.
Yeah, I'm laying on thick, aren't I? All right, here we go. And you've been getting educated all week with your trainings. All right, but let's stay in the Science Corner and talk about passive skincare devices. So Cosmoprof
I like the word passive.
Right? I thought you'd like the name of this, but Cosmoprof just wrapped in Vegas, right? That's this huge beauty conference where brands go to showcase their wares, buyers go, there's panels, whatever. One time Jess and I went and our highlight was the wave pool outside the hotel.
I was going to mention it, but I didn't want to interrupt your flow. I was like, nobody cares about Jen and I and our time in Las Vegas, but since you brought it up.
I will tell you this, it's a lot. And my overarching memory of that trip with Jess was not the panel that we did, but like the fun time we had in the wave pool outside.
And you cannot walk from the lounge chair to the wave pool without the soles of your feet, the skin getting burnt off.
Because it was very hot there right now. Anyway.
It was so hot. I don't know how anything lives in Las Vegas. It was so hot. Oh my God.
So what's passive skincare, you're asking?
Yeah, go on.
face, but things like the Canopy humidifier. I was like, okay, a humidifier, passive skincare. The other one that I'm really looking into is the Filter Baby. Have you heard about this?
A Filter Baby?
Filter Baby. So it's a faucet.
Is that Gina Davis's new project?
Gina Davis's filter.
Da-dunch. Sorry.
That was like a Golden Girls joke.
Well, I'm ready. Like, literally shit me out.
Hold on. I can't believe it. You just gave yourself your own drum snare at the end. It's not even a good joke. It's not even a good joke. I'm so goofy today.
I'm goofy. It's been a long week.
Filter Baby, Filter Baby. It is a faucet filter. It's a filter you stick on your faucet, not like to get fresh drinking water, but to decontaminate your water so it's better for your skin. I think this is a little bit of a stretch. There is evidence that heavy metals and extra chlorine and microplastics can affect your skin. It does say that they remove 99% of chlorine, 99% of microplastics and contaminants as small as 0.2 microns. That's cool, but I wasn't actually able to find a lot of research that filtering your water does make your skin better. So the company said it had clinicals. I reached out to the company for comment and to get a copy of the clinicals. Have not heard back yet, but I will report once I do, or if I do, if they ever get back to me, because what they present on their, I don't know, because what they present on their website is like a very truncated version of their clinical. And all I could see was that it improved some people's, we don't have a number of people that were used in this, skin hydration after 2 weeks of use. And I was like, skin hydration? All the before and after pictures are like people had less acne or people had less sensitivity, or, you know, their psoriasis healed. But like the clinical is saying my skin will be more hydrated if I use a water filter. I don't know. I feel like when your skin isn't great, you will grasp it at things to make it better. And I understand that a million times. Like I have been there. I have had acne. I have rosacea. Like you just want it fixed. I'm not convinced yet this particular passive skincare device is the way to go with your money. But I do think we will be seeing more of this general trend, which is like things around you that can make your skin better without actually applying them to your face, such as a humidifier. And that is the Science Corner.
Agree.
And Jess agrees. And that's the news.
Okay, everyone, let's talk hair. When it comes to, using products that are really good for me, with hair, sometimes I feel like there's a little bit of a sacrifice when you use products made with healthy ingredients. I always feel like there's something that I'm compromising when it comes to making my hair actually look really good. Not with Vegamore. They use really healthy ingredients and the results are always amazing. Their products are 100% cruelty-free and they're never formulated with potentially harmful chemicals like parabens or hormones.
That's right. I've been using the Vegamore Grow Revitalizing Shampoo and Conditioner. Ooh, is this stuff good? Lots of healthy oils in there. My hair feels really thick, but not weighed down. So I'm getting the moisture. It's thicker, healthier, shinier, which summertime, like who doesn't want that? It's a really great product. And if you get it in their special Vegamore Grow Essentials Kit, you get more value for your money. You get the shampoo, conditioner, and the revitalizing serum as well.
And fun fact, Vegamore sells 1 bottle of Grow Serum every 15 seconds on their website. That's how good this stuff is. Give yourself the hair you never thought you could have with Vegamore. For a limited time, Fat Mascara listeners get 20% off their first order by going to vegamore.com/fatmascara and use the code FATMASCARA at the checkout. That's vegamore.com/fatmascara, code FATMASCARA to save 20% on your first order. That's vegamore.com/fatmascara, code FATMASCARA. Hey everyone, this podcast is brought to you by Cash App. With tools for saving, sending, and spending, it's the all-in-one place for you to glow up your money and glow up your life.
I glow up my money with Cash App, but I also had a personal glow up. I don't know if you remember this. It was about, I would say 10 years ago now. I was just another brunette in New York doing my thing. And I said, it's time to let my white hair streak grow in. I thought it would give me a little differentiation, make me stand out from the crowd. So I grew in my white hair and it was as glowy, right? Like, come on, you thought it was a glow up for me, right?
Yeah, I mean, you went from like being like just another brunette on the street, nameless and faceless.
To like superhero.
Jen.
No,
Jen,
I'm telling you, I walk down the street now all the time. People yell to me like, "What's up, Rogue?" Like from the, X-Men. What's up, Storm? I feel like much more myself. I feel like I have a little bit of a superhero power.
Yeah.
And that is like kind of what Cash App does for your money.
So if you want to glow up your life, you got to glow up your money. Download Cash App in the App Store or Google Play. There's no hidden fees and a free-to-order debit card. It feels like a makeover for your finances. When you're getting married and planning a wedding, there's so many things to keep track of. It's a lot of fun, but it's also really overwhelming. But you know what can help with that? Our sponsor, Zola.
That's right. When you're getting married, it's not just about the big day. It's about all the days along the way. And Zola's here for all of them. I actually used Zola to help plan my wedding. And I remember the day Eric and I set up the website with all the little details to share with the guests and clicked publish. It was such a fun day. And then I used Zola, and they had this great part of their website building tool where you could give, I'll just call them gentle gift suggestions for your guests.
Very just gentle, tasteful suggestions.
You can do a registry, of course, but we created one of those cash funds for our honeymoon with pictures of where we wanted to go. Plus, Zola's also there on the days when you feel like, forget it, I don't even want to have a wedding. I remember I had that moment. There was like this huge family debate about the seating options at the wedding and whether they had backs or not. I kid you not, benches versus chairs, like almost derailed the whole wedding.
What did you eventually choose?
It's complicated. Let's talk about Zola, which is much easier because even on those days when things were, complicated, there's the Zola community. It's a free and judgment-free community of other engaged couples who know exactly what you're going through.
If you're getting married or planning to get married, or you're already married and you're just finally getting around to planning a celebration, start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com.
Okay, it's time to raise a wand. And you know what? We've been talking about self-tanners. I think this might be when we sort of stop talking about self-tanners, but you guys have so many good ones. So I'm just going to let the fam roll with it. Here are some self-tanners from the Fat Mascara fam.
Hi, Jess and Jen. It's Stephanie from Boston. I'm calling with this week's homework about self-tanner for your face. So I use the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Glow Pads, which are actually exfoliating glow pads that have a self-developing tanner after you use it. So you're getting both exfoliating and self-tanning in one. So it's definitely not going to remove any because it's depositing it while it exfoliates, which is awesome. All right. See you later, ladies.
Hi, Jess and Jen. This is Leanna calling from Ottawa, Canada. I have a recommendation for a self-tan product that I've been using for years, and it never fails to deliver a subtle, very even glow. It's totally foolproof. I've never seen a streak or had any issues with it at all. It is the Clarins Paris Self-Tan Radiance Plus Golden Glow Booster. It's a little bottle. I just mix a couple of drops of it into my regular moisturizer at nighttime, a couple of times a week. And poof, you wake up with a very subtle, even little bit of a tan. Thanks. Love the pod. Love you guys. I've been listening for years. Have a great summer.
Hey, Jess and Jen. This is Aubrey from Dallas, Texas. I am a nurse injector, and so I use a lot of my medical grade skincare products, and I've also run into the issue of what in the world do I do to stay tan, and I absolutely love the St. Tropez facial mist. It's the one thing where I can put my Skin Better exfoliating pads on and then put my moisturizer on, and then when I get in bed, just on my nightstand, I keep that facial spray right there and I spray it right before bed, and I wake up glowy from using my peel pads and nice and bronzed and tan. Those two work amazing together.
Wow, that is a nice little roundup. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, so I have one of a surprise that was going to add one because I'm not a very self-tannery person. I'm very fair, and I've had a lot of negative experiences with tanners. But there is one that I will indulge in because it's very easy to use. It's a gradual tanner. which means you apply it like lotion, very easy, and then you just move on with your life. It's called Tan Lux, the gradual. You apply it like a lotion and you wash your hands. That's it. It's a body lotion. Doesn't smell like.
What brand is it?
It's called Tan Lux. Tan.
Tan Lux.
Luxe.
That was her training session from Tan Lux,
Yeah.
everybody. She's the Tan Lux educator now. It takes a minute to get the training. Put on the lotion, wash your hands.
That's it.
You're done.
I wouldn't put on your pajamas or your jeans like right after. I would walk around, brush your teeth.
Why do you like it? Because it's a gradual tanner and there's no lines of demarcation?
Exactly. There's no more, you have to like blend it in and don't just slap it on like in random patches. Massage it into your skin. Make sure that it's like an even.
And you use this all over or just your face or?
No, I don't put it on my face. They have a facial, like drops if you want. But I put it on my body and then it just gives like such a light tint that like the next day I'm like, oh, I can go for more because that's how light it is. You're not going to get a big surprise. It's gradual. Yeah. And then you do another one the next day. So if you're looking for a dramatic tan, let's say it's a Friday and you're like, oh, I'm going to the beach tomorrow and I really want to make sure like I've got some color. I wouldn't do it on a Friday. I would start on like a Wednesday and then see what you look like on Thursday. And then you might want to add some more. But that's what I like about it. There's nothing that's going to like shock and awe you. It's really gradual.
You know what I'm going to do? You gave a body one, then we have the Salty Face, which had both face and body. Then we just heard from our fam, Saint-Tropez, the Dennis Gross exfoliating ones, the Clarins drops, the other one from last week. I'm going to put them all on a shelf, on our Shop My Shelf.
Ooh.
So everybody can see them and sort of see the best self-tanners from the fam. I think that'll be helpful, don't you?
Yeah, you can just see them all lined up and then check it out, see which one is right for you. Sometimes you need to see that.
It's always in our show notes too, if you aren't sure. It says products that were mentioned. So that's all the self-tanners.
And you go on our when she says show notes, like people don't know, like when I started listening to podcasts.
People know what episode notes are, don't they?
When I was listening to another podcast, when I first started listening to podcasts, they'd be like, check out the show notes. I'm like, where are the show notes?
Well, right below the description where you clicked on this podcast, whether it was Spotify, Apple, wherever, underneath the little description that I work so hard to write each week, twice a week, are some links. First of all, where that description is the show notes. And beneath it are some links that go back to our episode recaps, for example, on our website, and or a shelf of products of the products that you heard about on the show. And or what else is there? Our website, our social media. If you're like, what do these people look like? You know, when you're listening to a podcast and you're like, I picture them looking like this, and you have no idea what Jess and I look like. Our little Instagram links are down there. I'm the brunette. She's the redhead.
My hair's quite dark right now.
She's the auburn head. So that's what show notes are. And that is, I think, the end of our self-tanner exploration here on Raise a Wand. So we're back to, because I've got a little buildup of some other, all these great other products you want to raise a wand to. And we've been giving prime time to the self-tanners. Let's go back to normal raise a wands. What have you been sitting on all summer that we need to know about? What perfumes, what hair products, what skin products, what toenail polishes? Call us, 646-481-8182. That also is in the show notes, as is our email, because you can email us a voicemail, info@fatmascara.com. And Jess, do we count that Tan Lux as your raise a wand?
That's my raise a wand.
I think we do. Well, mine, good, because we had all the glamour. I'm just going to be real with you. It's been a week here in the Sullivan household. Little Wolfie has a stomach issue. Eric has not faced the real fact that our dog has a sensitive stomach, because nobody wants to have a dog with a sensitive stomach, but we sure do.
Poor baby.
And I woke up to such a mess. He's feeling better. Wolfie went number 2 on my bedroom carpet. Luckily, we had just bought a new bedroom carpet, which we did not put down, which I am now nervous about putting down in case he gets sick again. And we might crate him at night in that room for a little. He loves the crate, by the way.
That's
a little
good.
Special space, so doesn't sound scary. Anyway, I need to raise a wand to the only odor eliminating spray that, like, I've tried them all for dog and pet stains, cats too. Rocco and Roxy, professional strength stain and odor eliminator. That stuff works. And I have this blot technique down. Spray, paper towel blot to lift. Spray, paper towel blot to lift. I'm telling you, it probably takes like 40 rounds of that to get a stain out from him when it's number 2. But it does work. And the reason I'm raising a wand to it is because a lot of people have pets, and like no matter what you do, there's sometimes accidents. And you know, when you go to a house and like you can tell it's a pet house, you don't want that to be your house. You want to use this so it doesn't smell. This stuff takes out the smell
Pet house.
and it works on the color. Yeah. So, hey, Rocco and Roxy also maybe sponsor us because that stuff's not cheap. I just bought a huge gallon
Oh my
size
God,
of it
how much
during
is it?
Amazon Prime days. I think it was like $27.99 for the
Oh God.
the big size of it. A bottle of it's like $14. And you use a lot if you're trying to get up a bad stain, but it does work. And I've yet to find anything that works better. I've tried a lot of them. Though I'm curious, DM me on my Instagram, Jen Edit, if you have your own spray, because I'd be happy to trade to something a little less expensive. But the Rocco and Roxy is the shit. Oh my God. I didn't mean to make that joke, but see what I did there?
I do. Oh my God. The jokes are wild today. Wild.
They're too good. They're too good.
All right.
So
I think it's time. That's our cue. Get some beauty sleep.
okay, bye everyone.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor One product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.